So I started this channel to share my journey on what it takes to become a better competitive golfer. Part of that process is dealing with the emotional setback of failing. And like many things in life, the more effort and energy you put into them, the more it hurts when you don't get the outcome that you expect. Saying we should accept failure and just learn from it is easy to say, but it's quite a hard thing to do. You know, there are emotional consequences that come with failing. There are emotional consequences that come with putting yourself out there. So, as you may know, I recently had my major event at TPC Scottsdale Stadium and Championship course. And I knew it was going to be a tough tournament because I've been going through some swing changes. I haven't been quite able to find the face as well as I would like. But I was, mentally prepared, or at least I thought I was. Yeah, so, I started the day with decent tee shot on the first 4 holes, but, I missed the greens and I didn't really get any chips inside of 8 feet to save par. Things started to get a little wonky on hole 5 after I shanked an 8-iron, and then I shanked the sand wedge directly out of bounds right after. So I started to overcompensate by closing the face for the next 3 holes and basically pulled every shot left into the desert. To say it was a disaster would be a bit of an understatement. That was an absolutely monstrous 8-iron. That had to have easily gone 160, maybe 65 yards. Trust your line, Kenny. Trust your line. I was uncomfortable over the ball and every single shot and every single stroke. And, being 15 over after 10 holes is not exactly where you want to be in a competition. But typical Kenny fashion, I pulled myself together and gave myself a pep talk. One of those, so what, Kenny? You're hitting the ball all over the place. Who cares? Who gives a crap? Get your game together. Get out there. Put some good swings on some balls. Hit some good golf shots. And, take what the course will give you. You paid $400 to play in this tournament. You didn't come here to suck it up, and you didn't come here to be, wallowing in your misery. Get your head out of your ass and go hit some quality golf shots. And that's exactly what I did. I stuffed it to 3 feet on 11 for a birdie. 9-iron to 10 feet on 12. Hit it in for a birdie. Just behind the green on 5. Tiger's, infamous loose impediment hole. And almost had a 10 feet putt that I hold for birdie. I put it to 9 feet on 16, making birdie. A guy in my playing group aced it, so that took my closest to the pin away, but happy for him. Congratulations again, Doug. It was an amazing ace to watch. I was determined to get through my round with my head held high. I wasn't going to just stand there and be defeated. Like, I put so much work into this. Go out there and do good, or do your best and give it your all. An 85 wasn't going to put me in the top 10, but it certainly wasn't going to shoot me out of the tournament. And at least I'd have, a respectable chance or ability to possibly, get some strokes back on day 2 and maybe put a respectable finish and get into a top 10 position at the end of the tournament.
Japan.
So I started warming up for TPC Champions, and immediately I knew it was going to be a rough day. I hit about 10 drives or so on the practice tee, and they were going every which way. Left, right, up in the air, low drives. Like, I just knew it wasn't going to be a day for the driver, so I had to put that club in the bag. But that's okay. Golf is a problem-solving activity. I can hit my 3-wood 250 yards off the tee, so I was just going to roll with, what I had for that day and just make sure I can make the best of it. And I started off with a pretty solid tee shot. I hit a 4-iron to the deep left of the fairway, had a pretty average wedge shot into the green, and I was fortunate enough to convert that 18-foot putt for birdie. All in all, not a bad way to start. But on the next 3 holes, I made a lot of mistakes. I hit a drive 50 yards out of bounds. I missed a putt from 6 feet. I three-putted from about 38 feet on a par 3, and I made a very stupid decision on a par 5 to go for short of the green with the hybrid instead of just laying up with the 7-iron. All in all, was not making very smart decisions on the next couple of holes. You know, as I look back, I'm not sure what I was thinking. Clearly, I was not thinking. You know, and all in all, things just went back and forth. They were very up and down. It was very Jekyll and Hyde of a golf experience, and I just couldn't find the face, and I really couldn't get comfortable over any of the shots. But none of that was any different than what I experienced in the first day. We knew that was going to be the case. I shanked my pitching wedge on hole 6. I shanked my approach shot on 7. And then I shanked my approach wedge on hole 9. And while that sounds like every single golfer's worst nightmare, you know, in the final round of a major tournament, I was only 8 over through 9 holes. And considering the performance that I put on yesterday on the back 9 of TPC Champions or Stadium course, I still had every bit to believe that I was able to pull it out of the bag and put together a good score for the back 9 of that day. But when I got to hole 11, I was really struggling to make contact with the face, and I shanked a very simple approach out of bounds. And I remember just being extremely frustrated at how everything was going in the round and how I had absolutely no control over it. At this point, it wasn't feeling like just a bad round. I was struggling to have fun and enjoy the game of golf. It felt like it was a job, and to be honest, that's something that I've never really experienced playing golf. I was simply just going through the motions to get through the round. I made a birdie on 13, and I remember not even being excited, and by the time I got to hole 17, I honestly just wanted the round to be over. I finished double-triple with a final score of 92. On the drive home, I felt like crap. I was upset at how I performed. I was embarrassed at how poorly I scored. I was in such a funk that my girlfriend had to find one of my own YouTube videos just to try to boost my spirits. I have a buddy of mine that just recently got down to 8.7. And I've watched him go from a low teen handicapper to an 8.7. And I have literally watched his enjoyment of the game just disappear. If he's not scoring in the 70s, he's upset. And I've watched golf become a very tedious chore for him. Like, he's seeing less enjoyment in it. The thing that I take away from it after watching him improve is seeing how much incredible skill and talent he has. I've watched him do things that have demonstrated to me he has all of the ingredients to become an elite level amateur. This wasn't the first time that I scored poorly or had a bad round, but this was the first time that golf actually felt like a job to me, and it wasn't fun. And that's just not a place that I ever want to be again. Golf is a fun game and it challenges us all, but at the end of the day, it's a game. It should be fun. And I did something that just wasn't in my character. I gave up on those last holes, and I know I did. You know, you can lie to everyone else around you, but you can't lie to yourself. I felt like I let my coach down. I felt like I let all the people that support me down, including many of you down that lens. And more importantly, I felt like I let myself down. But you know what? It's okay to fall as long as we get back up and, you know, get back on that horse. We try our best, but we don't always do our best. I remember a quote from a book that I read called Principles by Ray Dalio. He's a philanthropist, billionaire investor. And he says, pain plus reflection equals progress. And I knew that was exactly what I had to do. I had to make this video and I had to reflect on a painful lesson that I learned, which is don't give up on my dreams. If this is something that I want, I have no excuse to not give it my all, no matter how difficult it's gonna be. Ultimately, I realized that I was being way too hard on myself. And when you set yourself up with unrealistic expectations, you're almost always setting yourself up to be disappointed in the end. As Tiger Woods would say, golf is the microcosm of life. And if that's the case, we can't win all the time. And in fact, I would argue that life has way more failures than it ever has wins. I certainly know golf does. I will hit more bad shots than I will ever hit good shots. I will miss more putts than I will ever make. I will make way more bogeys than I will ever make birdies. I will lose more tournaments than I could ever hope to win. And in the grand scheme of golf, it's completely normal and to be totally expected. I don't know about you, but many golf fans have gained a significant appreciation for Dustin Johnson, the way he's handled and performed over these past few months in the tournaments. He's a tenacious and world-class athlete that is definitely worthy of our respect for how much he dedicates himself to his craft. But even DJ, no matter how talented he may be, is not above the game of golf. Dustin Johnson has competed in over 274 golf tournaments, and he's won an impressive 23 times on the PGA Tour. That still only amounts to 8% of the times he plays, he wins, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. Statistically, he's going to lose 92% of the time when he shows up to compete in an event. But maybe, just maybe, that's where I've been thinking about it all wrong. You know, I said I was being too hard on myself. I've played in 11 golf tournaments. I've had a very short competitive career of not even one full year, and I've already won one event, and I've placed top 3 in 2 different events. I would say in the grand scheme of golf, I'm doing exceptionally well, all things considered. And it's not something to boast about, but it is something that I should be proud about that I've accomplished and not be so hard on myself when I compete in the tournament and I don't do as good as I hope to do, or I don't perform as well as I'd like to. It's kind of all part of the process. Instead of focusing on the fact that I may lose 90% of the tournaments that I compete in, I'm going to focus instead on taking a different approach. Every tournament is an opportunity for me to win, yes, but even if I don't win, it's just one of the necessary losses that gets me closer to my next win. I learned my lesson, and that is never give up on yourself, and most importantly, never give up on your dreams. So I got myself out of the funk, I dusted myself off, and I got right back up on that horse, which is what I'm always gonna do. Because at the end of the day, some habits are just too good to give up.